The wildfire began quietly, a spark in the dry brush of the Angeles National Forest. It was a seemingly innocuous flicker, a tiny flame that could have been easily overlooked. But in the dry, parched landscape it found the perfect conditions to grow. The forest, a tinderbox waiting for ignition, provided ample fuel for the fire to spread. Fanned by the Santa Ana winds, it quickly grew into a raging inferno. These winds, notorious for their dry and warm nature, acted like bellows, feeding oxygen to the flames and causing them to leap and dance with terrifying speed. Within hours, what had started as a small spark had transformed into a monstrous blaze, consuming everything in its path. The firestorm devoured everything in its path, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Trees that had stood for decades were reduced to charred skeletons. Wildlife, unable to escape the fast-moving flames, perished in the inferno. The once vibrant forest was now a landscape of ash and embers, a stark reminder of nature's fury. Homes were reduced to ashes, families were displaced. The fire showed no mercy, tearing through neighborhoods and leaving behind smoldering ruins. People watched helplessly as their lives were turned upside down, their homes and memories consumed by the relentless flames. Evacuation orders were issued and families fled with whatever they could carry, their faces etched with fear and uncertainty. The city of Los Angeles watched in horror as the flames danced closer, a fiery monster threatening to consume all. The skyline, usually a symbol of progress and human achievement, was now overshadowed by the encroaching wildfire. The city's residents could only hope and pray that the fire would be contained before it reached their homes and businesses. The sky turned a sickly shade of orange, the air thick with smoke. The sun was obscured, casting an eerie glow over the city. The once clear and blue sky was now a canvas of ominous hues, a visual testament to the devastation unfolding below. Breathing became difficult, and the acrid smell of burning wood filled the air. The sun, normally a source of warmth and life, was now a menacing red eye peering through the haze. It seemed to watch over the destruction with a cold, indifferent gaze. The eerie light added to the sense of dread that permeated the city, as if nature itself was mourning the loss of the forest. Fear gripped the hearts of the city's residents as they faced the relentless advance of the fire. The uncertainty of what the next moment would bring was palpable. People clung to their loved ones, hoping for a miracle, as firefighters battled tirelessly to contain the blaze. The community came together, offering support and shelter to those who had lost everything. In the face of such overwhelming destruction, the human spirit showed its resilience, determined to rise from the ashes and rebuild. Nestled in the foothills, just a stone's throw from the encroaching flames, stood Masjid al-Hikmah. The mosque, meaning Mosque of Wisdom, was a beacon of hope for the local Muslim community. Its elegant minarets reached towards the heavens, a symbol of faith and resilience. Every day, the faithful gathered in its peaceful sanctuary to pray, to learn, and to find solace in their shared faith. The mosque was more than just a building. It was the heart of the community, a place of peace and unity.
When a difficulty descends upon you, do not say, "If only I had done such and such would have happened." Instead, embrace the moment with the understanding that everything happens for a reason, and that reason is often beyond our comprehension. Life is a series of tests and trials, and how we respond to them defines our character and our faith. Rather say, "Allah has decreed, and what He willed has happened." This acceptance is not a sign of weakness, but of profound strength. It is an acknowledgement that we are part of a greater plan, one that is orchestrated by a higher power. By surrendering to this divine will, we find peace in the midst of chaos. For verily, the phrase, "if only," opens the doors for Satan's work. It invites doubt and regret, which can corrode the soul and weaken our resolve. Instead, we must focus on the present and the future, drawing strength from our faith and our community. Together, we can overcome any adversity.
As the fire approached the foothills, the sky turned an ominous shade of orange, and the air grew thick with smoke. The once serene landscape was now a scene of impending disaster. A palpable sense of fear settled over the community. Families gathered their belongings, children clung to their parents, and neighbors exchanged worried glances. The uncertainty of what lay ahead weighed heavily on everyone's hearts. Imam Malik, the mosque's spiritual leader, tried to calm the growing fear. He stood before the congregation, his voice steady and reassuring. He reminded them of the teachings of their faith, urging them to remain steadfast and to trust in Allah's plan. His words, filled with faith and acceptance, resonated deeply. The congregation listened intently, their hearts finding solace in his message. He spoke of resilience, of the strength that comes from unity and of the power of prayer. Still, the sight of the flames, now licking at the edge of their neighborhood, tested the limits of their faith. The fire was relentless, and its proximity was a stark reminder of their vulnerability. Yet, amidst the fear, there was also a sense of determination. Some wept, others prayed, all united in their fear and hope. The community came together, each person drawing strength from the other. In their collective prayers they found a glimmer of hope, a belief that they would endure this trial and emerge stronger on the other side. The fire reached the edge of the mosque's grounds. The air was thick with smoke, the heat unbearable. It seemed as if all hope was lost, as if the flames would consume everything in their path. Then, a miracle occurred. The wind, which had been driving the fire relentlessly towards the mosque, suddenly shifted. It was as if an invisible hand had reached down from the heavens and pushed the flames back. The fire, which had seemed unstoppable just moments before, changed direction, veering away from the mosque at the last possible second. The community watched in astonishment and relief as the fire raged on, sparing their beloved mosque. It was a night filled with fear and uncertainty as the flames threatened to consume everything in their path. Yet, amidst the chaos, there was a sense of hope, a belief that something greater was at play. The mosque, a symbol of their faith and unity, stood tall and untouched, as if protected by an unseen force. The people gathered around, their eyes reflecting the flickering flames, their hearts filled with gratitude and wonder. They whispered prayers of thanks, their voices blending with the crackling of the fire, creating a symphony of faith and resilience.
I've been battling wildfires for 20 years, but this is different. This feels divine. I've seen the destruction that fire can cause, the lives it can upend in a matter of moments. But tonight, as I stood there, watching the flames dance around the mosque without touching it, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time, a sense of peace, a sense of purpose. It was as if the fire was being guided, directed away from the place of worship. I've always believed in the power of nature, but tonight, I believe in something more, something that goes beyond what we can see and touch, something that gives us hope, even in the darkest of times.
Among them was Chris, a seasoned firefighter who had never witnessed anything like it. He had fought countless fires, seen the devastation they could cause, but this was different. There was a calmness in the chaos, a sense of order in the midst of destruction. Chris stood there, his eyes fixed on the mosque, his mind racing with thoughts and questions. How could this be? How could a building made of wood and stone withstand such intense heat? He felt a shiver run down his spine, a feeling he couldn't quite explain. It was as if he was witnessing a miracle, a moment that would stay with him forever.
I had been struggling with my faith, but this event, it solidified my belief in a higher power. For years I had questioned the existence of God, doubted the teachings I had grown up with. But tonight, as I watched the fire rage around the mosque without touching it, I felt a sense of clarity. It was as if all my doubts and fears were being burned away, leaving only faith and conviction. I knelt down, right there in the street, and prayed. I prayed for the safety of my community, for the strength to rebuild, and for the wisdom to understand the lessons we were being taught. This event, this miracle, had changed me in ways I couldn't yet fully comprehend.
Aiden, a recent convert to Islam, saw it as a sign. He had embraced his new faith with an open heart, but there were still moments of doubt, moments when he questioned his decision. But tonight, as he stood in front of the untouched mosque, he felt a sense of affirmation. This was where he was meant to be. This was the path he was meant to follow. He joined the others in prayer, his voice blending with theirs, creating a chorus of faith and gratitude. He knew that this event would be a turning point in his spiritual journey, a moment he would look back on with reverence and awe.
I was always skeptical of religion. I grew up in a household where faith was not a priority, where science and logic were valued above all else. But witnessing the mosque's miraculous survival, it planted a seed of faith in my heart, a seed I knew I would never be able to ignore. As a journalist, I had always prided myself on being objective, on reporting the facts without letting my personal beliefs get in the way. But tonight, something changed. I felt a connection to the people around me, a sense of shared humanity that transcended my skepticism. I realized that faith is not just about believing in something greater, but about finding hope and strength in the face of adversity. But witnessing the mosque's miraculous survival, it planted a seed of faith in my heart, a seed I knew I would never be able to ignore. I stood there, my camera in hand, capturing the moment. But my mind was elsewhere. I was thinking about my own beliefs, my own journey. I realized that faith is not just about religion, but about finding meaning and purpose in our lives. It's about believing in something greater than ourselves, something that gives us hope and strength. And tonight, I found that faith. I found it in the faces of the people around me, in their prayers and their gratitude. I found it in the untouched mosque, standing tall amidst the ruins, and I knew that this moment would stay with me forever, a reminder of the power of faith and the resilience of the human spirit.
And then there was Clara, a journalist covering the fire who had always been skeptical of religion. She had seen the world through the lens of her camera, capturing moments of joy and sorrow, but never truly understanding the power of faith. But tonight, as she stood there watching the mosque stand untouched amidst the flames, she felt something shift within her. She realized that there was more to life than what she could see and capture on film. There was a deeper meaning, a sense of purpose that she had been missing, and in that moment she found her faith. Witnessing the mosque's miraculous survival planted a seed of faith in her heart, a seed that she knew she would never be able to ignore. She stood there, her camera forgotten, her mind racing with thoughts and emotions. She realized that faith is not just about believing in something greater, but about finding hope and strength in the face of adversity. It's about connecting with others, sharing their joys and sorrows, and finding meaning in the moments that define us. And tonight, she found that faith. She found it in the untouched mosque, in the prayers of the people around her and in her own heart, and she knew that this moment would stay with her forever, a reminder of the power of faith and the resilience of the human spirit.
News of the mosque's miraculous survival spread quickly, a beacon of hope in the face of devastation.
People from all walks of life, Christians, Jews, Hindus, atheists, flocked to the mosque offering their support and expressing their solidarity. The mosque, once a place of worship for a single community, became a symbol of unity for an entire city. Donations poured in from across the country, a testament to the human spirit's ability to find hope even in the darkest of times. The mosque, which had been spared from the flames, became a center for relief efforts, providing food, shelter, and comfort to those who had lost everything. The fire eventually died down, leaving behind a landscape scarred by its fury. But amidst the ashes, the spirit of the community burned brighter than ever. The mosque, untouched by the flames, stood as a testament to the power of faith and resilience. The event transcended the boundaries of religion, inspiring people from all walks of life to come together and rebuild their lives and their community. The miracle of Masjid al-Hikmah was not just about a building that survived a fire. It was a testament to the power of faith, a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable adversity, hope can endure. It was a story about unity, about how a community, bound by their shared faith, could overcome any obstacle. And it was a story about resilience, about the indomitable spirit of humanity to rise from the ashes, stronger and more united than ever before. Years later, Masjid al-Hikmah continues to stand as a symbol of hope, a reminder of the miracle that brought a city together. The memory of that day when the wind changed direction and spared the mosque from the fire is etched in the hearts of all who witnessed it. It's a story that is passed down from generation to generation, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, faith, unity, and resilience can light the way forward.